Hello and warm welcome, everyone. We're diving into something special today at the New Year New Mindset series to help you make 2024 your best year yet, helping you get aligned with what you want, move past the limitation of keeping you stuck, and sustain your personal growth. I'm Amanda, your host, and we have a fantastic guest with us. Nikita is here with us today, and I'm excited to speak with her because she works to guide with people into their potential so they can truly flourish and live their best life, which is really what this event is about. So I'm really excited to dive into what she has to say and her insights. And really, we'll be diving into today what encompasses well being and the straightforward strategies to give yourself space to flourish in a sustainable way. So it'll be really exciting. So, welcome, Nikita. I would like to start just by having you share a little bit about your personal growth journey. And I'm really curious about any specific turning points in your growth and how it helps you navigate your path, if you can share briefly.
Yeah. Firstly, thank you for giving me this opportunity in this space to share my story. So, I grew up in the UK as a British Indian, and this title has two parts to it. So, I grew up feeling on one side that I was British, and on the other side that I was Indian. And actually, what this did, this gave me an identity crisis because I didn't know which culture I should be part of. And so I grew up feeling very lost and as if I didn't belong anywhere. And when I was 16, I decided to take the decision by myself to change my name. So I wasn't actually born with the name Nikita. I actually decided to change my name because I felt like I resonated more with it. And then when I was 18, I decided to go to India by myself. And I ended up staying there for 10 years, learning yoga, Indian dance, meditation, and really diving into who I am and what I'm here to do. And then it was only when I came back from India that I then went through a really traumatic period in my life where I experienced a health scare. And that was when I think you mentioned about turning point. I think for me, that was that pivotal time, which really made me think that actually it's time to look inwards. And I started using all of the tools that I'd learned in India, the yoga, meditation, self healing, chakra balancing. And I really started working on myself alongside conventional medication. And I used the two together to really bring me into this state of balance and harmony. And that's really what I want to teach others today.
Amazing. Yeah. And I just wanted to, we don't have to dig too deep into it, but something that stood out when you said identity crisis. And I think this could come in many different forms. Can you just share what that looked like for you, how you were feeling, and maybe how someone can recognize it in their own life if they're just going through this, maybe subconsciously?
Yeah, well, for me, it was stemmed from being part of two cultures. But actually, when I look back at it now, I realized that I was feeling lost within myself. I felt like I was stuck, as if I wasn't moving forwards, or perhaps that I didn't even have a sense of direction. I didn't know where I was going. And it's only when I started amalgamating all the tools together, which I now teach today, that I started to define a sense of purpose. And this word is really important to me, purpose. And in Sanskrit, it's actually called dharma. And I do a workshop called Discover Your Dharma. And it's all about really starting to understand who I am and what I'm here on earth to do.
Yeah, thank you for expanding on that concept because I know probably a lot of people can resonate with some of those feelings that you mentioned. And so, in your experience when you work with clients or even in your own experience, I'm curious what had to change in their life? How did they have to shift for them to get like this state of flourishing or to the next level of breakthrough for them? Can you speak a little bit
Yeah.
to that?
It's a really exciting process, actually,
Yeah.
when somebody comes to me and they're feeling stuck, they're feeling lost, they're feeling like they've got no clarity or direction. And then we take them through this journey. And that's really why I call it Journey with Nikita, because I take them on this process whereby they start to understand themselves. And then consequently, they understand what they're here to do. And you can just see like light bulbs going off in their minds and they're having these breakthroughs as they go along. because they're starting to really connect with their higher self. And so purpose is not just about thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm going to change my job or have a career change. It's more about connecting with who you really are on a soul level.
Is there any misconceptions in the personal development space about how to find your purpose or anything like that? Is there anything that stands out that we should be wary of, especially when we're trying to tune into our own inner voice?
Yes, I think that there are many coaches today, especially everybody seems to call themselves a coach. And I think one of the biggest challenges for clients is finding a coach that they resonate with.
Mhm.
And a lot of um, people today, they're working on the superficial level. So
Yeah.
they'll change behaviors, for example, they'll work on limiting beliefs. But real transformative change happens on a much deeper level. And you just mentioned inner voice, and that's beautiful. So, really starting to be able to navigate our way through this inner voice and this dialogue that we've all got in our minds, and being able to differentiate between the inner voice and the intuition. And I believe they're two different things. And so it's really giving the client the tools to be able to understand the difference between the two and then be able to be guided by that.
Interesting. Okay, I love that you mentioned that inner voice and intuition can be different. Is inner voice more your soul talking, intuition is more in your body, or can you just elaborate a little bit about what that means?
Yeah. So for me, inner voice is like this part of the mind,
Mhm.
and the intuition is part of the soul.
Oh,
And sometimes the two can come together and the two can marry. But then actually, sometimes they could be opposing as well. So the inner voice could be telling you to do one thing, and then your intuition could be telling you to do another. And you feel very torn. And so it's about really connecting with the deeper part of yourself in order to be able to get that clarity. Just like I followed a calling to go to India at the age of 18, I had a lot of courage to do that. And that's because that was my intuition telling me that if you're going to find what you want in India. And I did.
oh, so I guess the key is really to get your inner voice and intuition to kind of work together, and then that will
Yeah.
really push you forward. Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
Align, align the mind and the soul. So the body, mind, soul, as we know, want it to all be connected. And at the moment, the reason that we're experiencing that sense of unease and feeling like we're lost and trapped is because of this disconnection that's taking place. And so once we start to reconnect and realign, then everything just flows.
yeah. Amazing. I think that's what we're all after. But thank you for bringing more awareness to that and what we can start to look at if we are feeling that torn. Because I've definitely been there and it's very uncomfortable to sit in that space. So I do have one last thing to touch on. Is there, for someone who's just like starting, I really want or feel the torn feeling, is there a place for someone to get more aligned with the intuition, mind, spirit, soul connection? Is there just, yeah, a starting place that you would recommend for them?
So I would recommend the best medication
Hmm.
is meditation. And I think that the best place to start is to meditate. And what I offer is a free 10-day guided meditation program. And so people can, wherever they are in the world, whatever time zone they're in, they can do it from anywhere. And it's completely free as long as they're in a place where they can be by themselves without distractions. They can just play it and they can really start to go inwards because more often than not, our attention is turned outwards. And what meditation does is it gives us that opportunity to connect with ourselves. So I'd love to invite the viewers to really tap into that part of themselves. And you can do that through meditation.
Amazing. Yeah, that led beautifully into your freebie, which I will have a link for in the caption.
Yeah.
And I just have a quick question regarding meditation. Is Is there a certain time of day where it's really beneficial for you to meditate, or is it really whenever you find the space to do it?
I think, yeah, I mean, if it's a choice of doing it or not doing it, then of course just do it. I mean, it doesn't matter which time of day, whenever you're available, providing you're not driving or you're not, you're in a safe space to do it.
Mhm.
They do say that you get the most benefit if you do it very early in the morning. In fact, if you naturally wake up at like 4 a.m., that's a great time to meditate. And, you can look up the reasons behind that. But I would say anytime, anywhere, just to make the most of it. It's
Yeah,
free, it's for everyone. It's something that has been a game changer for me. It's really helped me in my own life to stay resilient to all kinds of situations and be able to keep my energy up. And I don't just mean physical energy, but mental energy, spiritual energy as well.
amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and how you got to where you are today. I know viewers probably grabbed a lot from it. And I encourage everyone to connect with Nikita so you can dig deeper into these concepts because are so expansive. And this is only like a 10-minute interview. So, to our viewers, I will have all the links for you to connect with her and grab her freebie. I really encourage you to do that, giving yourself space to slow down and really take inventory of your life and listen to that inner voice or try to connect with it will really push you forward. I know it seems kind of counterintuitive to the hustle culture we're all involved with. But stay tuned for the more of our series upcoming. A special shout out to Nikita for being such an awesome guest. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.